They came with cannons, maps, and treaties. But Samori Touré was waiting with warriors, strategy, and unshakable will. This is how West Africa's lion faced the colonial empire of France and refused to kneel. Welcome to the Baobab Within, where African legacies rise and stories buried by time are told with truth. Subscribe and walk the path of power, memory, and resistance. By the early 1880s, the French were advancing deeper into West Africa. Armed with superior weaponry and driven by imperial ambition, they aimed to swallow everything in their path. But in the Wassoulou region, they encountered something different. Samori Touré wasn't a king they could intimidate. He had modernized his army, trained his men, and fortified his borders. And so, war began. In 1882, the first major battle was fought at Samaya. Samori's forces, unaccustomed to European artillery, suffered losses, but quickly adapted. He abandoned direct confrontation and began using a tactic few empires expect: guerrilla warfare. Samurai split his forces into mobile columns. They struck from the forest, vanished into riverside thickets, and attacked supply lines at night. His men moved light, fast, and precise. He wasn't fighting to destroy France. He was fighting to preserve freedom, and it worked. In 1886, after years of stalemate, Samurai signed the Treaty of Kéniéba-Koura with the French. The treaty temporarily halted hostilities and recognized his territory. But peace, in the shadow of empire, is always temporary. Samurai understood this. He used the breathing room not to relax, but to rebuild. He reorganized, rearmed, and reinforced his state, because he knew the French would return. While confronting the French in the north, Samurai faced revolts and resistance from smaller kingdoms in the east. But instead of dividing him, the pressure refined him. He crushed uprisings with discipline, but never brutality. He recruited from those he conquered. He offered protection to communities threatened by the French, earning loyalty not just through force, but vision. By 1887, the French violated the treaty. Tensions escalated. And so, Samurai responded with something devastating: the scorched earth tactic. As French troops advanced, Samurai's forces burned fields, emptied villages, and destroyed supplies, denying the enemy resources. He would rather starve the land than surrender it. This was no tribal skirmish. It was empire against empire. The French had generals, rifles, and a colonial mandate. But Samurai had mobility, morale, and the heart of a people who knew they were fighting for something sacred: autonomy. His soldiers carried muskets, but also Quranic verses and ancestral pride. They marched not for gold, but for dignity. In battle after battle, from Bisandugo to Kankan, Samurai's forces held firm. Even French commanders began to respect him. He became known not just in West Africa, but in Paris, London, and Cairo. Samori Touré didn't just fight soldiers. He fought betrayal, encirclement, and exhaustion. He trained messengers, blacksmiths, scouts, and spies. He studied enemy patterns, built alliances, and moved his capital when needed. His resistance wasn't just physical, it was psychological, spiritual, and tactical. He proved that African power wasn't gone. It was organized. It was disciplined. It was alive. If you've liked this video, hit like. It helps keep these stories alive. Share, comment, and subscribe to carry Samurai's legacy forward. Next episode: The Fall and the Legacy. samurai's capture and the fire he left behind. Until then, stay rooted, stay rising. This is the Baobab Within.